That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.
All righty then. What's going on, folks? Welcome back. Welcome back to this week's episode. Wow, what is going on? We've been doing this for 3 years, and I am tongue twisted here. Welcome back to this week's episode of the OneCast, where you are joined by Pete and myself. Ben couldn't make it this afternoon. He's not feeling very well, so keep him in your prayers. He's going to be fine, though. I think he's just got a case of the Hershey Squirts. Get him off the toilet here soon. But hey, we have fun here on the show. Pete, what's up, dude?
Nothing, brother. What's happening?
Not much, man. You know, it's mid-November, and it's like 764 degrees out, so not really sure what's going on with that. Really frustrating your deer hunting, though, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like supposed to be 80 degrees on Saturday. The deer are moving at night. Just got a lake.
Yeah, so this time of the year, folks, as you know, a lot of the bass anglers, when the tournament season wraps up, a lot of guys like to hit the woods and get that deer hunting in and help reconnect with themselves and, maybe harvest a big whitetail or 2 or 6, depending on which state you're in. But right now it's super hot and super warm out. So we've actually been doing a lot of fishing, and actually we'll talk about a little bit of that after we shout out those who support us the most. OneCast Fishing. Head on over to OneCastFishing.com. Use the code TheOneCast, all one word at checkout. Get all that gear that Ben has to offer. Also, when you're online, head on over to CarolinaWatersNC.com. Use that same code, all one word, TheOneCast, at checkout. Get your hands on all that UPF apparel that they have to offer. And then while you're online, use that link that we provide to you. It's going to save you 20% on your Hobie eyewear at HobieEyewear.com. Use the link. It'll take you right to the website and get your hands on all the different frames and lenses. We love the floating frame series. And then before your next fishing trip, or right now, actually, as you're listening to this, hopefully you're not driving, so don't do it when you're driving. But if you're listening to this, go on over to Deep Dive on your app store. The Deep Dive app is loaded with a bunch of information. It's going to help you break down bodies of water. It's got all the different variables that you're looking for, from inflow, outflow, weather conditions, water level, water clarity, bait tools, best areas of the lake to start. So download that. Pay for that annual subscription. It's like $80 and catch more fish. And then move to Central North Carolina, just like everybody is already. And when you're en route or before you move, hit up our good friend of the show. We call him Uncle Terry. You can reach him at carpentert@hpw.com. He's a licensed real estate agent here in Central North Carolina with Howard Perry Walson and Caldwell Banker. Terry sells more houses than I've ever seen before. He's way better than that car salesman, I can tell you that. So he'll sell you the home of your dreams. He's also a bass angler himself, so he knows exactly what you're looking for to get that nice boat inside that garage. Did I nail it?
Nailed it.
Sweet.
No.
Nice, short, to the point. And listen, if you're watching this, a lot of times we have all of our partners scrolling across the bottom and the banners. You can check out our link tree that has all of our partners in the link tree, and it takes you right to their website, so you can go exactly where we just said to go, but all in one shot. So we actually had a fantastic weekend. Wanted to talk about that a little bit. As much as we do a lot of charity work in the veteran community with Take a Warrior Fishing, our good friend Mike Johns with FX3 Inc., our good friends with the Special Operations Bass Anglers, we talked about that a little bit. If you haven't heard that episode, go back, listen to Seth Ellis talk about how he broke Lake Norman down, walked away with the victory there. The real victory was supporting the cause for the annual Master Sergeant Mark McCowan charity tournament for Senior Chief Petty Officer Shannon Kent this year. So Seth was able to take that win away, but it was way more special than winning a tournament. So if you haven't listened, go back last week's episode, check that out. This past weekend, Pete, myself, his lovely wife Chelsea, our entire board, and some of our staff members will Take a Warrior Fishing. Was able to enjoy a weekend getaway at the Kennerson Ranch up there at Lake Gaston, and it was a phenomenal time. It was absolutely what I needed. I know Pete said the same thing. I think everybody needed it. And if you're in the North Carolina area, check out the Kennerson Ranch, Kennerson Ranch. And it is owned and operated by a retired Naval Special Warfare operator, Jason himself. I won't give his last name out here. You can go to the ranch, check out the ranch website, and he offers an amazing experience to help veterans connect with themselves, reconnect with their spouses, their friends, their family, and the whole 9 yards. And man, I'm telling you, Pete, like I felt so rejuvenated.
Yep.
Coming back from that weekend, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was an awesome weekend. He has a incredible place there on Lake Gaston. Like you said, he's a retired 32 plus years of service to our great nation and NSW operator, just a great dude, giving back to the community that he came from and all of the military communities, special operations communities with what he's trying to do up there. So check him out. But man, it was a little bit of fishing, some meetings, some beer drinking, some fire, really good food by Don and Rick's Barbecue, cooked for us 3 squares a day. Saturday, 3 squares Saturday, and then breakfast and lunch on Sunday when we left, dinner Friday. So it was, man, it was awesome.
Man. And who would have known that there were massive elk right around the corner from Jimmy's freaking cove?
Yeah, right off Jimmy's Creek, man. They're right. They be right there, dude, just up the hill. Yeah, you wouldn't have known it was there, but he's got a pretty awesome little slice of heaven there. So I need to make posts with some pictures and stuff. So
yeah,
you guys can check out socials and see that. I haven't got around to it yet. Still just kind of taking in everything that went down, man. A lot of emotions shared and lots of good fellowship and reflection and just all the things you want to do when you get away like that. So it was awesome. I needed it. Probably needed
a lot of laughs, a lot of cries, good cries. You can definitely tell. I mean, as men, for sure, we're really bad about exposing our emotions, but women are in the same boat as us. And we needed that as a staff, as a board, to get up there and just decompress. Because if you're in the 501c3 community in whatever capacity that may be, if it's veterans, if it's law enforcement, if it's medical field, it doesn't matter. Children, you're constantly giving back as much as you absolutely can. But you got to take some time for yourself. You really do need to take some time because, it's like a chaplain, man, or just like a social worker, right? Or a therapist. It's like, who's there for you at the end of the day? Because you're constantly helping people out. You want to do the best you can to keep them on the straight and narrow. You want to reduce that 22 suicides a day or whatever the case may be. But sometimes you got to take a step back and take some time for yourself, help reconnect with yourself and your friends, your family, and all those loved ones. So can't thank Jason enough for putting us up there. I can't thank, Take a Warrior Fishing enough for setting that up. I think it was a really great time. And, the cool thing about it too, is on the fishing side, we were able to get people to catch fish that haven't caught fish in years. Yeah. I mean, they just haven't caught fish since childhood or haven't been out in years, like Mr. Rick, like he's battling his own demons right now with his medical condition and was able to get out there and catching some catfish and stuff like that. So it was a really cool thing, man. So yeah, check out the Kennerson Ranch, guys, on Lake Gaston. If you're looking for a good place to get away and spend some time with family and friends, look up the Kennerson Ranch.
Yep, for sure. Definitely check them out. And if you're looking for even more organizations to support with a follow and sharing their stuff, be sure to do that on socials. It's I think they're like Kennerson Ranch LG or LKG for Lake Gaston. But if you just type in Kennerson, it'll pull it up. So
for sure. Yep. All right. Well, let's give a huge shout out. So a couple things just wrapped up before Pete and I were going to go through the 2026 Bass Pro Tour schedule for the year. We just did it a couple weeks ago. If you haven't listened to the Bassmaster Elite Series schedule, we did that one a couple weeks ago. So go back, check that one out. We're going to give you our opinions on this. But before we do that, Logan Parks just hosted his second, I believe, Insane tournament. And that was on, where was that at? Smith Lake, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And last year we had Kieran Stevenson and Bank Shaw, I think, pulled away with that victory. And then this year, Jackson Watts and Dalton Head, I don't know how you say his last name. They walked away with $30,000. A really great thing that Logan Parks does. He gets high school level and collegiate level anglers and pairs them together. And they do, through Fishing Chaos, they do, I think it's a 3-day tournament, all fish count, I think, or something like that. So it's like a total weight thing. Those kids walked away, those young men walked away with a good paycheck, a great experience. And Logan Parks is continuing to push his Logan Parks Fishing Foundation every single year, man. And he does a great job at it. So if you haven't listened to our episode with Logan Parks, we had him on a few months ago, didn't we? We had Logan on.
Yeah, about a year ago, because it was right after, I think, the tournament last year or so.
So maybe we'll get Logan Parks back on for y'all, and we'll talk to him about all the initiatives he has going. He also gave away, I think he gave away his bass boat, his 2025 Nitro Z21 bass boat, loaded to the brim with loaded to the rim, however you say it, to the rim with a ton of fishing tackle. Basically he put Bass Pro Shops right in his Nitro Z21 and gave it away. So that was cool. Anything else on that before I introduce the top 10 that just made it into the elites, and then we'll jump into the BPT?
No, nothing else, bro. 10th,
new Bassmaster Elite Series qualifiers from the elite qualifiers this year. Brock Rinkemeyer, he came in 10th. So he I don't know anything about him. Congratulations to Brock. Pake South was in 9th place. He qualified. Let's see. 8th place is Tristan McCormick. Tristan McCormick is a pretty well-renowned angler in the Bassmaster Opens and in some of the MLF stuff, but he's on the Lou Strike King team, and he's been on their YouTube series. He's a great angler. He came in 8th, so he qualified. 7th is Caleb Hudson. Man, a bunch of young guys, dude. These are all young. Caleb Hudson came in 7th. 6th would be or 6th, Matt Messer. Matt Messer's been around for a little bit. Still a young angler, but he's very well known. 5th is Sam Hangy. Let's go to 4th is Austin Cranford. I've been following Austin for a couple years now. He's got a pretty good YouTube series out there. He's with 6 Cents. He's an Oklahoma angler, I believe. He came in 4th. Aaron Jagfeld came in 3rd. Russ Lane came in 2nd. Russ is an OG, dude. He's been around.
The elites.
Yep, he's been around for a long time. And he's probably got like a 30-something year age difference on these kids that qualified.
Probably.
So congratulations to Russ Lane. And then your 2025 Bassmaster Elite Qualifier Angler of the Year is Fisher Anaya. What a great name to have to win Angler of the Year, qualify for the Bassmaster Elite Series, and be first, and be named Fisher, man. So congratulations to those 10 gentlemen. Congratulations to those 2 young men that won the Logan Parks Fishing Foundation Insane Nitro Tournament. And what else do we have to talk about other than the BPT? Anything else in fishing world, Pete?
Nope. Drama, DQs, failed polygraphs, anglers crying because Bass is holding them to the standard that anglers ask Bass to hold them to.
Well, talk about that for a minute, man.
So one of the anglers, I'm not gonna say his name, I'm sure you've seen it or you can find it. He had a legitimate shot to make the Bassmaster Elite Series, and apparently was sitting around before the tournament down there in Okeechobee, talking with a friend who he's known for a long time, he's roomed with, blah blah blah, and that friend blurted out something about make sure you check the ditches. And even though that was public knowledge because they had seen it in a YouTube video, when he got pulled for a polygraph, he failed, and he said he came clean about what happened, and he couldn't get it off his mind that it had occurred. So he took another test, failed that. I think he failed a few. Again, they tried to keep asking the question to see if they get it different, and each time he could not get past that question without failing. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, if you have a guilty conscience, you're going to not be able to pass that test. So if somewhere in the back of your mind there's a shadow of doubt that you violated a rule, you can convince yourself, even if you didn't, that you did. And that's part of the problem with the polygraph tests, is they're very easy to pass. They're also very easy to fail. And it's easy to manipulate folks into failing. I'm not saying that's what happened here. At the end of the day, you failed. Like, it sucks. I totally get it. But you still failed a polygraph test. That is the rules of the land. Whether you were right or wrong, you have to pass that. You have to be able to answer that question without it triggering that you were lying. And he couldn't do it. And he was provided, from what it sounds like, multiple opportunities with different questions. The question being asked different ways. Sucked for that guy, because he was super close. He's been fishing for a long time. I've heard he's a decent dude. I don't know this angler at all. I've never met him. I have some opinions based on some videos that I've seen of him about how I feel, but opinions don't matter.
Right.
We're not about opinions here, negative, good, bad, but I hate it. And I know a lot of people are upset, but again, I'm going to go back to last year in December. Bass tried to lax the no information rule, and anglers lost their minds, and they're getting exactly what they asked for. They're enforcing the rules that are on the books. They have been consistent as far as we know. Now, I'm not, if there's tests that they hid or didn't release, whatever. But as far as we know, everybody that's failed a polygraph test has been DQ'd, right? That's elites, that's opens. I don't know if they did anything in college or high school, but it's possible. Yeah. But it's been consistent, and that was one of the things that I asked for, like, be consistent. Yeah. And they were consistent in the punishment for that crime or that rules violation. And yeah, I hate it for the guy, but like, I don't get going on the internet and making a bunch of whiny videos and blaming medical conditions and things like that. Like, it sucks, dude, but we've all been through some really sucky things in life where things didn't go our way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yours was failing a polygraph test. Trey had some bad days where he met IEDs. Like, everybody's everybody's suck is different, right? But like, you don't just pack up and quit. And I think that hurt. I shouldn't say that hurt. I lost a little bit of, like, I guess, empathy when that was the reaction, because he could have went and fished and fought it and been in that tournament and seen where he ended up. And I guess somebody else did, because they ended up fishing 11 guys on the championship day because one of the guys in the top 10 had failed the polygraph. There was some more drama, but while he was waiting for it to be what's the word I'm looking for?
Finalized,
appealed. He was waiting for his appeal. Or his challenge of that to take another one. He fished, and they let him fish. So 11 guys fished that final day, even though only 10 we're gonna get qualified or whatever. I don't know. That, again, that's an opinion, but I don't like the fact that he just packed up and left. Like, again, it sucks. I get it. You busted your tail across all these tournaments, and to have it to lose out on it because of a rules violation, failing a polygraph, whether you violated a rule or not, the test said you did. And it is what it is. Take your punishment, pick back up, and get back after it.
I agree, man. And, for these young anglers that are listening to the show, a word of advice from guys like us: it doesn't matter what level you're fishing at. If there's something in the back of your mind that making you think that you did something wrong or that you should report it, just report it, because I've seen a lot of tournament directors give grace to anglers when they self-report. Hey, I didn't think about this at the time, but this could have been gaining a competitive advantage over the field, and I don't want to seem like I'm compromising my integrity in any way, shape, or form, so I want to report this, right? And, there are guys out there that can beat polygraph tests. I promise you, right? Yep. And it's also important to know, if you are trying to figure out how to beat a polygraph test, you're probably in the wrong mindset anyways. But nevertheless, a polygraph isn't admissible in a court of law, but you're not, you need to remember you're not in a court of law. You're under the jurisdiction of the organization making objective/subjective decisions on what they believe is best for them. So you're not in front of a judge, jury, and executioner. You're in front of the tournament board itself. So that's how this is handled. So anytime you're going about and saying, well, this wouldn't be legal in court. Well, you're not in court. You're not, right? So get over that, because you're not in front of 12 jurors and a prosecutor and a defense attorney and a judge. You're not. You're subject to the bylaws of the organization.
Yep.
It's no different than if
that's what's
it's
written
no
in
different.
there.
It's no different as a private organization. If I want to terminate one of my employees because money's not there, I have the right to terminate an employee, not based on anything else other than like, we can't financially sustain paying you. Right. And that's how it is. So just remember those things, young anglers, as you're going out there. Like, you need to read the rules to understand what you can and cannot do, but don't try to like overanalyze the rules, because they're pretty plain and simple. No information means no information. Off limits means off limits.
I know what's going to happen. Right. People are going to say that I support the organization and screwing anglers and blah, blah, blah. I don't. And I've said it here before. I think the no information rule is the stupidest rule in bass fishing. But
I agree.
If you are going to have a rule on the books, got to be enforced, and it's got to be fair.
Well, listen,
and that's the only way that we maintain some level of control, or the organization can maintain some level of control, is by having that out there, right?
Yep, 100%. And look, I just signed up for Division I of the Bassmaster Opens. I know that information on the Kissimmee chain, information on Eufaula, Alabama, information on Lake Norman, North Carolina, and information on Lake Erie, out of Lake Erie. It's off limits. Can't talk about it, right? I shouldn't solicit. I shouldn't ask anybody. I can't pay for it. Those are the things that cannot happen. Even if I can, I'm not going to, right? So just, keep those things in mind. I'm not saying that it doesn't suck. Like Pete says, it does suck. That sucks, man. But you know what? You get a speeding ticket. That sucks, but you were speeding,
Yeah.
It's like fishing. You can't catch them all, but the cops do catch one here and there, and they write them a ticket. You know what I mean? Yeah, so you just happen to pop up on a random polygraph. You happen to pop up on one, and that is what it is. So let's.
Yeah. The last thing I'm going to say.
Go ahead.
And then we'll go through these 8 events for BPT 2026. Man, I almost said 2025. Mm-hmm. If you are a friend of an angler that is fishing in these events where they could get polygraphed, just don't say anything.
Don't say nothing.
Even if it's public knowledge, don't say, hey, bud, remember that YouTube video we watched last week where they were doing this? Because that right there is enough that if that seed of doubt gets planted in that angler's mind and they get pulled and that question comes up, hey, did anybody give you any information? And all of a sudden you say, well, shit, Pete told me something about a YouTube video, even though everybody can see it. He reminded me about it. Does that give me a competitive advantage? And that little bit of doubt can throw it. So if you got friends fishing in these organizations where they have new information rules, talk about your family, talk about fishing other lakes. You can talk about anything, but just don't talk about what's coming. And I know it sucks. We want to talk with our tournament buddies. I want to be able to call Trey at open tournaments that I'm not at and be like, what's going on, man? Oh, maybe you should try this. But I know that I can't. So I'm going to call and be like, how's practice, bro? Cool. Keep after him. And then I'm going to say, does your family need anything? Do you need anything? And we're going to talk about other stuff, because I'm not going to put him in a position where if he has to take a test that he could potentially fail. So just think about that when you're talking to folks that are fishing these derbs.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Pete. Right here, I hold the 2026 Elite Series schedule, and I hold the 2026 BPT schedule. There's not a single lake on here in Division I of the Bassmaster Opens that we're going to talk about.
Perfect.
Right? So even on this show, guys, like, I'm not going to talk about stuff that could be any sort of conflict of interest. I will remove myself from the show, and I will have Ben and Pete do it, right? Just to make sure that we keep everything kosher. So let's go through the Bass Pro Tour 2026 schedule. They got a pretty cool schedule, I think, this year.
Yeah, they got a few lakes on there that are different that I'm excited about.
The first one is interesting because it's the first one so they go there. They go to Lake Gunnersville January 15th through the 18th. So about a month before, 3 weeks before BASS does.
Yep.
And that's going to be their first tournament of the year, January 15th through the 18th. Gunnersville, Alabama, one of the most popular lakes in the country for sure. The last time they were there was last year, and they had their red crest there in April.
Yep.
And we talked about it in the Bassmaster schedule, but this one's a little bit different because Bass can't have forward-facing sonar there for the first schedule or for the first event. Bass Pro Tour does 1 period with and 2 periods without each day. Yep. So this Tennessee River impoundment, man, it's loaded with big largemouth. It's loaded with smallmouth, and it's got spotted bass in it too. So, I mean, what is your take? I already have my take on who's going to do really well there. And that's just because history shows. But what do you think with the Bass Pro Tour compared to the Bassmaster? How do you think this thing's really going to be won?
I think it'll be pretty similar to what the elites are going to be doing. They're going to be throwing out that offshore grass, pre-spawn, lipless crankbaits. Just, your late winter, early spring pre-spawn stuff on those lakes, fishing those grass flats where those fish are moving up and starting to feed up. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot different than we're going to see the elites outside of the 1 period where they're going to have forward facing. You may see some guys try to find some of those fish that are still deep, brush piles, schooled fish, and things like that that are still around. But it's going to be run one doing what folks do on Gunnersville in the winter, and that's cranking hard spots, grass, shell beds, or shell bars. I'm sorry. I don't think you're going to see any crazy stuff come up on that one. Jerk bait will probably play a little bit. Again, 3 weeks is a huge difference that time of year, but it's also not, because you're talking three weeks where you're still kind of in that winter phase. Pre-spawn stuff. So
I think you're spot on, Pete. I think it's going to be a lot of the traditional like Gunnersville stuff, like you said. I think you're going to see a couple guys, because they can use forward-facing sonar, like Dustin Connell. He did really well. I think did he win that Red Crest? I think he won it. Didn't he?
He did. Yep. But he ran way up the river and caught smallmouth.
Yep. So I think Connell is definitely going to sample that, for their first event, because, cold water and smallmouth mix really well. I mean, and we say cold, that's relative. Like, I don't know what the water temperature is going to be in Gunnersville, but I think you're definitely going to see guys go up to the dam and try to see if they can find big pods of smallmouth for that period. And then I think they're going to use, they're either going to leave there if that's part of their game plan and go target largemouth, or they're going to blind fish for smallmouth. I don't know how much blind fishing will do for smallmouth, but if they find big pods of them and stuff up there underneath, like the, like the eddies and stuff like that, where they're staged up, there's a high probability that you'll see some guys go target some brown fish during their forward facing sonar period. Now, what period is that going to be? Is it going to be 1, 2, 3? I don't really know. Like they may use that for the first period. They may use it for the third period and try to make up the difference. So, but Gunnersville's a cool place. I know Pete and I talked about going there. Like, it's got all 3 major species of fish. Alabama spotted bass are not invasive to that waterway. They got some big spots in there too. But Gunnersville's like the mecca for bass fishing, just like Charlotte Motor Speedway is the mecca for NASCAR. You know what I mean? So I think it'll be a cool event though. I definitely would assume that a lot of the BASS guys are going to be watching that tournament because it's open information as they televise it. They're going to be definitely doing some scouting, some recon while the BPT's there January 15th through the 18th. And then they move on to there. Where do they go second, Pete?
You want to predict who's going to win that?
Oh, yeah. Yep, for sure. You want me to go first?
It don't matter.
I don't even know I'm not going to lie. I don't know the roster, but I'm going to say Dustin Connell.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
I mean, I'm going to say DC because he's a Coosa River guy. But that's part of the Tennessee River, but he knows Gunnersville very well. You know what though? Hold on a minute. I don't know how he's going to do. And I'm not saying DC only relies on scope, but they're no stranger to doing really, really well to using scope. There's a lot of guys that aren't going to be in the BPT this year. It's going to be like a 50 boat field, 51, right?
Yeah.
So I'm still going to say DC. I got to say DC. What do you
When's
think?
the last time they fished Gunnersville?
Last year in April for Red Crest.
When's the last time they fished it in a regular?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Go away. I was just want to look. I this is going to come as no surprise, but I got to pick the dude that lives on the lake and has never finished lower than 4th in AOI, and that's Jacob Wheeler. Like, I mean, the dude's got more experience, lives on Gunnersville, fishes Gunnersville, runs around Gunnersville, knows Gunnersville.
Yep.
And let's not even kid ourselves here. Let me just read off his AOI rankings. 25, 1, 24, 1, 23, 2, 22, 1, 21, 1, 20, 23, 2019, the first year 4. He's riding an incredible hot streak since 2019. He's got multiple, obviously, wins in that time. He struggled a little bit in the spring there, but that's a whole different beast, I think. Springtime with bedfish, and you get caught up doing different things. Last time they fished Gunnersville in a regular season event, I'll give you a guess of who won that event. It's a guy by the name of Jacob Wheeler.
Oh, rhymes.
They were there. Rhymes with Jacob Wheeler. So I got to go with Jacob. He's got a home field advantage. Man, a lot of the old draggers and the guys that you might pick in an event like that aren't there anymore.
The only other person,
Bobby and Chris Lane are there, but they haven't had stellar finishes outside of Florida and a few other places like grass fisheries, which this is a grass fishery, but it's cold weather grass fishing, which is a whole different thing. Michael Neal's another guy that could play, but I'm going to go with Jacob on that one. I agree with everything you're saying. The only other person that I would put into consideration on that one, if I was thinking about it, is Jesse Wiggins. So Jesse Wiggins from Alabama, that guy is deadly with a shaky head. He is really, really good at shallow water fishing. Him and Michael Neal for sure. Yep. But Jesse's a good dragger, and there's a time and a place for a Carolina rig, a big jig, and a shaky head, man. And when you can't use forward-facing sonar in 2 of the 3 periods, you better watch out. Now, some guys will absolutely blast them during forward-facing sonar, and that's the difference with the strategy with the BPT versus other outfits. So, but I'm gonna still go with DC for Gunnersville. Pete's got Jacob Wheeler. Then they move on to. I said Gunnersville. He might live on Chickamauga, but same difference.
Okay, yeah, same but different. Then they move on to Lake Hartwell, February 19th through the 22nd. It's
been a while since they've been there, I think.
I don't think they've
never fished Hartwell, have they?
Nope, no, they've never been to Hartwell. Hartwell is a clear highland reservoir. They got spotted bass, largemouth. There are so many bass in Hartwell. And I think that, in February, I think guys are going to catch a ton of fish during their forward-facing sonar period. I think you're going to see a lot of minnows shaken. I think you're going to see a lot of small paddle tail swim baits thrown. I think you're going to see some guys target some pre-spawn largemouth. I think you're going to see the whole gamut at Hartwell, those brush piles. I've never been on a lake besides Lanier that has so many cane piles that, and here's the difference though. During that time of year in February, I would go out on a limb here and say that lake is most likely, if you download the deep dive app, you'd know. But looking at the way our fisheries are with highland reservoirs, they're usually still in the winter drawdown stage in February. So a lot of those cane piles, they're probably going to be exposed. A lot of the tops of them are going to be exposed, right? So I think that could right there help them out without forward-facing sonar, because if you can see them, you can still dob a minnow, throw a drop shot, throw a shaky head and stuff like that. And you don't necessarily need forward-facing sonar to do that. But Hartwell, they're going to catch the snot out of them because those fish are going to be really healthy. They're going to be cold, and they're going to be feeding for the pre-spawn.
Yeah.
So they go out of what is it? What's Hartwell? Is it are they going out of Green Pond? I don't know where they're going out of.
Probably. I don't have it listed yet, but I would assume.
Yeah. So Hartwell, man, what do you think about Hartwell? You think it's going to be the same thing I just talked about?
Yeah, I mean, they don't need forward facing to catch them on that lake if they know where the brush piles and stuff are. I'm just looking at water levels.
And it is a herring fishery, but the herring are not going to be spawning during that time of year.
It looks like they stop drawdown in early February.
Okay.
They usually fill it up to full pool by over the last 3 years. By February 11th, it's been at full pool.
Okay, so they very well could deal with
full water. Yep.
Yeah,
Which could throw a whole different thing in because now you've got rising water, you've got fish moving around. You're there right after that. But cane piles, brush piles, you're gonna have some fish starting to push up on docks probably. Yep. Some of those largemouth will be pre-spawn, pretty heavy because that lake I think warms up usually pretty quick. It's a little bit further south. But somebody's gonna go out with forward facing and mash them in one period every day. There's a lot of guys that can do it. Who's
your pick? Who's your pick for Hartwell?
I'm gonna go with Mitchell Robinson out of South Carolina, from Landrum, South Carolina. I believe it's his first year on the BPT.
Okay.
Yep, and he has one win, and it was Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, March 14th through 16th on Lake Hartwell last year. So some recent success on a lake that he probably has a lot of experience on. I don't know much about Mitchell other than I knew he qualified this year.
Okay.
And he won that one. So I just happened to click on his name here. Won Lake Hartwell with the pro circuit. So he's got a little bit of recent history. I don't know where Landrum is. I'm going to assume that might be a lake he spent a lot of time on in high school and stuff. So I'm going to stick with him. Looks like he probably knows how to throw the old minnow around and utilize that. Not that I'm basing somebody's ability to fish on their looks, but he's got long hair and a flat brim. Like there's a trend we see in today's world. Like
he fits the mold, huh?
He fits the mold that he can scope them up. But he's good with that technology. I'm sure. I think that's going to play. If he's got some stuff there and that's a local lake, he may be able to go out there and put one of those like 50+ pound periods together where he just knows where they're eating. And I don't know. I think it'll be a fun one, especially since for some of these guys, it's probably been a long time since they've fished this lake, since BPT has not gone there for any event, including Red Crest or heavy hitters, ever since 2019. So some of these guys, your Jacob Wheelers and those have not fished it probably since the Elite Series days or maybe college. So I don't know how that's going to play, but be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with Casey Ashley on this one out of Donald, South Carolina. Casey Ashley's been around for a long time, fished a lot of FLW stuff. I don't know if he just requalified for the BPT. I have no idea. I know he's on the roster for 2026. Casey Ashley's got a lot of experience.
Did he take a year off? Or was he gone for a year and requalified?
I don't know if he took a year off. I know based on his stats, he's got 6 career wins. He's got 44 top 10s, 61 top 20s. He's got 4 Red Crest appearances. He's multi-million-dollar winner. As far as like, I don't know. Yeah,
he won a classic in 2015.
But yeah, he won at Smith Mountain when he was 23 in 2007. He's got a. Well, it says he's the youngest angler to ever win a Bassmaster Elite Series event. So, he was the youngest. He was until Trey McKinney
usurped by Trey McKinney.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Casey Ashley on this one. I'm gonna give him a little hometown advantage, kind of like you're talking about. It should be a pretty cool event. It's not going to be a herring spawn. It's definitely going to be a pre-spawn, maybe winter staging event and stuff post winter stuff. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They haven't been there. So we all know Hartwell's filled with a bunch of 1.8 pound largemouth bass and spotted bass and stuff like that. So we'll see if guys run up to Seneca. I'm sure there's going to be some guys like Zach Burge and, a buddy of ours and some of the other OG anglers. They're going to run up Seneca and try to find some of that stained river water on those pre-spawn staging points for largemouth. And you never know, man. I mean, it could be go down by the dam and hit those cane piles and then run up the river when you don't have any forward facing sonar and throw, chartreuse crankbaits like Takahiro Mori will throw and, big baits maybe might play around the docks, big glide baits and stuff like that. But yeah, it'll be a fun event. So
yeah,
after that, they go down to, it's crazy to even say this, Waco, Texas, for Lake Whitney and Lake Waco.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Lake Whitney is 775 acres.
Oh, so it's tiny.
Oh, no, that's just the state park. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm like, golly.
I clicked on it and didn't realize. I thought it said Lake Whitney. It does say state park. That is a little bit different, obviously.
This one is totally different.
I know nothing about either of these lakes. So.
I know nothing about them. March 5th through the 8th, Waco, Texas. They go to Lake Whitney and Lake Waco. The BPT's never been there before. Central Texas reservoirs, largemouth dominant, filled with a bunch of timber, riprap, grass. So we're probably going to see a lot of jig fishing. Maybe see some bed fishing depending on the water temperature.
When are they going?
March 5th through the 8th.
They're probably going to be bed fishing because Waco's in the desert, isn't it?
I think so.
Waco is.
So
I don't want to be wrong here. I don't know Texas that well. It's kind of central. Yeah, I mean that's just between Dallas and San Antonio. So they're probably going to be bed fishing in that one. Good shot. Good shot
that they'll be bed fishing. So, yeah. I mean, what do you think? Who's going to walk away with that one?
I'm just getting some info. So Lake Waco, 79,000 acres.
That's a big one.
So Lake Waco is pretty big. Lake Whitney is, excuse me, 23,500 acres.
Okay.
So a little bit smaller, obviously. Pretty good sized reservoirs, though. I don't know how they're doing it this year with the less anglers. They're not going to split, I'm assuming, into group A and B.
From what I see is day 1 and day 2 are at Whitney Lake Marina. Days 3 and day 4 are at Waco Launch in Waco, Texas.
So yeah, I think it's going to be a shallow water for the most part. I don't know enough about the lakes to really say they're going to be. I am fairly confident there will be fish on beds that time of March in that part of Texas, unless they.
I already know who I'm picking.
So do I, but I'm going to let you go first because I went first last time.
All right, 10-4. I think I went first last time. You went first, but
no, you went first because you picked us. All
right, yep. So I'm going to go with Alton Jones Sr. on this one. So Alton Jones Sr., he's from Lorena, Texas. But what's important to know about Alton Jones is he is I don't know. I don't know how his eyesight is anymore, but he is a phenomenal bed fisherman.
Yeah.
So if they are in fact on beds and they are in fact in Texas, I'm going to go with Alton Jones.
And Alton Jones Jr. lives in Waco.
Alton Jones Jr. does live in Waco, but he learned everything from his daddy. So, but he'd be another good pick, right? However, the only thing I'll say, this is just my opinion, right? And this is no one else's opinion. I watched Alton Jones Jr. fish the Ultimate Angler Championship on Gunnersville this year. Everybody knows that Tucker Smith walked away with $500,000 in that deal. Alton Jones Jr. does seem to struggle. This is just my observation when forward-facing sonar is limited. I don't know how he is at bed fishing. I've never seen him. I personally watched Alton Jones Sr. wear them out on Sharon Hare's bed fishing. I think that was when maybe Porosnik won or something like that. I can't remember. Jeff Sprague won big bass that time. And I think what's his name? Oh gosh, out of California. You know what I'm talking about. He was trying to catch a 10-pounder off the bed multiple times and lost it.
Oh, Ish Monroe.
Ish Monroe. Golly. Yeah, Ish. I was thinking Fish Monroe. But yeah, I watched Alton Jones Jr. absolutely wear him out. I don't think he won the tournament. But again,
No, I think Wheeler won that one.
Yeah. But again, Alton Jones Sr., I think he's going to come away with the victory on this one. You know, I don't know how many years left he has in the game, but you know, he's still maintained qualification in the BPT, which is, you know, probably wasn't very easy to do. So I'm going to go with that. What do you got, Pete?
Yeah, I mean, Junior can catch him. Qualified for the Elite Series in 2017, well before forward facing, so he knows how to catch fish. He won on Lake Fork in 2022. Won heavy hitters in 23. I think that was on in Louisiana. Wasn't that when they were at Bussy or however you say it?
Bussy Break.
And then he's got another win. I don't remember where that one was at. But I'm not going with Junior. Just he can catch him.
All right.
It's gonna be shallow water, all right? Like, I think you're going to be able to grind them, but you're going to be able to catch some on forward facing potentially when you have that. I don't know if there's anybody better suited for, I don't know. I got to go with my boy, Zach Burge. He's been riding a pretty hot streak. We know he can power fish, but he can use that dang box as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not far in Oklahoma. I don't know how much experience he has, but he's got experience in that part of the country. So, I think somebody who isn't a hometown, guy there is gonna have the win on that one. So we go with our boy Zach.
Yeah, Zach, you're coming along later for me in a few events after the fact. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see them in Waco, Texas, and Whitney, Texas. Well, Waco, Texas, really.
And then they go to stay in Texas, right?
They stay in Texas, and they go to the land of the giants.
Yeah, Ivy.
OH Ivy. So March 26th through the 29th, they're in OH Ivy and Lake Brownwood. I don't know anything about Lake Brownwood. The BPT's never been there before, so this is the third event on this roster that they haven't been to before. Granted, a lot of these guys do have. It's a Highland Reservoir, largemouth and spotted bass mix, offshore stuff, standing timber, brush piles. So a lot of the same stuff we talked about with, Waco and Whitney. And, there's a very high possibility this one sets up similar to Waco and Whitney. Do you think it's going to be a bed fishing derb?
Good chance. Again, they're in that same part of the world in March. I think there's a chance there's some post spawn going on by then too.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a fun one though. Looking forward to Ivy and see if anybody can find any of them monsters that live in that lake.
So who are you going to go with your pick?
I don't really know on this one, man. Like, I think I'm going to go with another Texas guy. New to the BPT for I think 2025 was his first year. Marshall Hughes out of Hemp Hill, Texas. For no other reason than he's a Texas guy, and I don't know. It's hard when there's no history on a lake. I don't know how that lake, either of those lakes, are going to tournament fish. I know OH Ivy can be tough if you don't sort of know the lake. It's just like a big bowl, dude. It's not like anything really. If you look at it, it looks pretty like you would drive by it without even thinking about stopping to fish. So it's going to be an interesting one, but I think a guy that's got some experience in Texas and has spent time down there fishing has got a shot. So I'm going to go with Marshall.
I'm going to go with a guy with that. By this time, he already has 3 BPT events. He's probably adjusting. He is an absolute hammer at everything, but he's really good with forward-facing sonar. But I think with it being a couple periods without, but his ability to adjust. I'm going to go with Bank Shaw on this one. Bank Shaw won, last year's insane tournament with Logan Parks Foundation. He's an absolute hammer when he was fishing the MLF Invitationals. I think it's going to take him a few events, kind of like it took Drew Gill during his rookie season. So I think it's going to take him a few events to get adjusted. But I think by the time he's had his teeth, and I could be completely wrong, by the time he's had his teeth kicked in the first 3 events, he adjusts. I know a lot. OHIV got a lot of visibility because of some of the guys out there catching trophy largemouth. And I think he's going to do really, really well in that event with forward-facing sonar. And then once he figures it out, I think he's going to be able to adjust without it. So I'm going to go with Bank Shaw on this one. He's out of Harrison, Tennessee. So it's a Tennessee guy going down to Texas. But I think he's going to, there's no history there. But I think a lot of those guys have taken a trip down there, to catch really big bass and stuff like that. So, and then they move on, right?
Yeah, then Red Crest on Table Rock Lake.
Yeah.
They don't have the roster published for that yet. So I don't even know who else fishing it, but we'll probably do an episode Classic and Red Crest.
Yeah.
Later. That's April 17th, 19th. Going to be a pre-spawn deal, I'm sure.
Yeah, Table Rock for sure, dude. I think you're going to see a lot of big baits, a lot of jigs, clear water fishery. There's going to be some big fish caught. They got all 3 species there. They got smallies, largies, and spots. If I don't know who's going to win that one, we can talk about it later, but I think that one's going to be cool. Where do they move on to for their next regular season event?
Yeah, then they go to Beaver Lake.
Oh, Beaver hasn't gotten any love in a long time, dude.
Long time since anybody went to old Beaver Lake. One of the first Bassmaster events ever was held on Beaver Lake in Arkansas back in the day.
I already got my pick for Beaver Lake. Beaver Lake is a clear, it's a clearer reservoir. It's got largemouth and smallmouth in it. A lot of rock, a lot of points.
White River.
Yep, for sure. And they're going out of Prairie Creek Marina. I think the last time anybody was there big time was the FLW tour back in 2017, May 4th through the 7th. And Cody Bird, I think, ended up winning that one. Drew Cook came in second. Zach Thompson came in third. But I don't know anything about Beaver, dude. I don't know anything about it other than what I just shouted out. So, but I already have my pick for Beaver. You want me to say it?
Yeah, here's my to go first.
Here's my pick for Beaver. It's going to be Smoke himself. It's going to be Brian Thrift. Brian was an absolute dominator when he was fishing the FLW tour, as a lot of these guys were, right? Brian Thrift is really, really good at throwing buzz baits, at throwing top water. He's really, really good at dragging Carolina rigs and jigs. He's really, he was integral in developing the Demiki system that they got going on with Demiki Tackle itself. So I think that, Brian he's probably due. I mean, he won Red Crest a few years ago, whatever it was, on Lake Norman. It's been, I don't even know if he's won. Maybe he has, but it's been a long time since I've seen him actually win an event.
Yep.
And I think this one sets up for him with his jig and Carolina rig fishing and stuff like that. I could be completely wrong, but I'm going to go with Brian Thrift on this one.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fishery that hasn't been to, sort of like a Highland reservoir, but not in the Highlands. So it's interesting because it's got those big bluff walls, deep water. White River's a clean water, very clean water system. Looks like they have striped bass, crappie, largemouth, walleye, catfish, smallmouth, all the good stuff. Man, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because it's been a long time since any tournaments really went there that weren't, I'm sure, I know the local stuff does, but like any of the big dervs have gone out of there. I'm going to go with an Arkansas guy because I have a feeling he probably has fished a long time here. It's definitely been a long time for this dude since he won one. I don't know how much longer he has one left, but I'm going to go with Mark Davis. He's a finesse guy. knows how to catch a smallmouth. He grew up fishing in Arkansas, has been there his whole life. He's probably spent some time on this lake. And with not a lot of tournaments being fished there, a lot of these guys have never seen this lake, I'm sure, outside of some pre-practice and stuff. So I do think that gives a bit of a inside baseball to a guy that grew up, I'm sure, fishing it. So yeah, I'm going to go with my man Mark David. Think it'd be good to see another one of these Bass Fishing Hall of Fame guys win one in the twilight of their career.
I already know who you're going to pick for the next one.
What's the next one?
The next one, they go May 16th through the 21st to Ocala, Florida, Orange Lake.
Oh, yeah.
And if y'all don't know anything about Orange Lake, I was there this year.
It doesn't really count, and I'm kind of disappointed that they're going there because it's just a stocked pond, but go ahead.
Yes. If you follow my personal social media, you know that I went down there back in like March. And was it this year or was it last year, Pete? Did I go there this year?
Yeah, 25.
Okay,
yeah.
I can't remember, man. Gainesville, Florida. Obviously, it's a beautiful. I think it's 12,500 acres, and it is absolutely filled with hydrilla and giant largemouth bass. It's a shiner hatchery. Went down there. Seth was, able to catch a 9-pounder. On the first day we got down there, I caught some 5s and 4s and 6s and stuff like that. It's a great fishery, man. I don't know how much forward fishing sonar even plays a role in that, just because of the sheer amount of vegetation that it has. But if you know anything about Shaw Grigsby, Shaw just retired. He participated almost every year in the Special Operations Bass Anglers event. He was up there this year. And Shaw is a great human being. I was so happy that I beat him by a couple places. No, just kidding. Shaw's a great human being. He grew up there. Does a lot of gator hunting, and Orange Lake is known for trophy largemouth bass. I think you're going to see a 10-pounder. I truly do believe you're going to see a 10-pounder there, potentially, but it's definitely going to be a post-spawn event. So I think you're going to see a lot of the grass lines play. I think you're going to see a lot of the post-spawn staging areas in the hydrilla. And it's really just hydrilla. I don't know what else is there. Hydrilla and pads is the only two things that I really found when we were down there. But I'm going to let Pete go first on this one because I went first last time, right?
Yeah, I would really want to go first, but I have no idea who's in the heavy hitters. Because I'm looking at MLF's website and they don't have the roster published for it. So I have no idea who's fishing.
Oh, you know what? Oh, man. Dang. It is a heavy hitters event. It's not annotated here on this roster.
Yeah, it's heavy hitters. So I have no idea who qualifies.
It's going to be Shaw Grigsby, and he's not even going to be there.
Yeah. I mean, it's come on, BPT. Get your
all right. Well,
I even Googled 2026 heavy hitters roster. Nothing.
All right. So we're not even gonna talk about that. They're going there.
You
want
to just pick if it was a regular event, and then if they're in, that can be our pick, or you want to wait and see?
I mean, it's pretty hard not to pick to the,
Oh, wait. 2025 heavy hitters qualification. I don't remember how many people make it. 32. I found it.
Okay.
So I'm going to go quick-ish.
Okay.
2025 heavy hitters qualification. Let me make sure this is accurate because we had some guys. There were 66 anglers last year, correct?
Yeah, like 65, 66. Yep.
Yep. Looks good. We're going to go with it. Okay, so Jacob Wheeler. Shocker. Terry Scroggins. Ron Nelson. Edwin Evers. Okay. Dean Rojas. Justin Lucas. Drew Gill. Mark Davis. Justin Cooper. Jake Lawrence. Cole Floyd. Bobby Lane. Jeff Sprague. Colby Miller. Alton Jones Jr., Matt Becker, Adrian Avina, Dave Lefebvre, Ott Defoe, Michael Neal, Skeet Reese, Brian Thrift, Todd Faircloth, Brent Erler, Alton Jones Sr., Brent Chapman, Gary Klein, Andy Morgan, Keith Carson, Nick LeBron, Takahiro, and John Hunter. All right, I know who I'm going with.
Who are you going with?
Keith Carson. Gotta go Local guy, man. Shallow water hammer. Grew up fishing with John Cox as his best friend.
The first of the two John Coxes.
The first of the two John Coxes. The one that wins money, not the one that donates.
Hey, hold on a minute. But did you see that video that the MPFL published?
Great video.
That was so awesome. If you guys haven't checked that out, well, I posted, I think, on my story, but on the MPFL social media page, they have both John Coxes on there talking, and it is absolutely awesome.
That's great.
The sportsmanship in that video was great, dude. It was so great.
Yeah, I beat him once.
Yeah.
I beat him every other time.
Yeah. Keith Carson's a great pick, man. Like, if I was going to pick somebody, it would definitely be Keith Carson, but I'm not going to pick him because you picked him. And
Is that who you thought I was going to pick? Because you said you knew who I was going to pick.
I knew you were going to pick Keith Carson, dude. I knew you were going to do that. But you pick Keith Carson. I got to go with another Florida guy, but I'm not going to go with Bobby Lane. I'm going to go with Chris Lane on this one, right? Chris is really, really good at flipping hydrilla. He's really, really good at post-spawn events. I don't know when the last time he had a victory was, but, you know, he is a Gunnersville, Alabama guy, really familiar with grass fisheries, just like Bobby. Are they brothers? They got to be brothers.
It's a great pick for Chris Lane, but he didn't qualify for the 20.
Oh, he didn't?
No.
Did Bobby?
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going with Bobby. Okay. Well, I'm going to go with Bobby Lane on this one. It's hard not to put it's hard not to put the Florida guys in the mix, man. I'm not saying that's going to be 100% accurate, but between Keith Carson and Bobby Lane, man, it's hard to. You know, the only other person I would say would be Dean Rojas, right? Like,
I was that close.
Yeah, so Dean Rojas, everybody knows, man. Like, that guy is one of the best frog fishermen in the world.
Post-spawn.
Lake. Yep. And, you know, and John Cox isn't in this roster. I'd say John Cox, you know what I mean? But I'm going to go with Bobby Lane on this one, Pete.
Yeah, good pick.
All right. So after Orange, which is their heavy hitters, they move on to another regular season event, which is Grand Lake, Oklahoma, Cherokee State Park. Last time they were there was in 2022. And a guy that's not on the roster, Justin Kerr, won. But somebody who came in second was Ott Defoe. And then Edwin Evers came in third. And it's a river impoundment, largemouth, smallmouth, standing timbered bluffs, current swings, stuff like that. Yep. And this is definitely going to be a post-spawn event for sure. Pete gave his pick last time first. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going with Zach. I got to go with Zach on this one.
Great pick.
Zach Burge, everybody knows from Oklahoma. A, Zach's a great human being, but B, Zach is, I think, one of the top 10 rated anglers in the country right now. If you look at like Bass Fan or Bass, I think it's Bass Fan. Just based on tournament stats, maybe he fell down a little bit, not really sure, but nevertheless, Zach Burge can literally do it all, right? He can literally do every bit of it, right? He grew up, he fished the FLW tour. He's fished a ton of different stuff. Zach's really, really good all over the country. It doesn't really matter where he's at, but he's a hometown hero. I'm not really sure how far from Grove, Oklahoma he is, but nevertheless, I'm going to go with Zach Burge on this one.
Yep, another really solid pick. You're wrong, but it was a great pick. Just kidding. I mean,
you going with James Elam?
No, I'm going with Michael Neal.
Michael Neal, that's another great pick.
Guy that has a lot of experience on similar bodies of water. Can catch him doing a bunch of different things. He's again one of the most consistent anglers over the last several years. He's 100%. Just been right there, hammering them. I think he's got 46 top 10s, 4 wins. Like, guy's a stick, Tennessee guy, so he knows how to fish these kind of impoundments. So I'm going to go with old Michael Neal.
Awesome, dude. All right.
Yeah. And then last,
up to your neck of the woods, big dog.
That's closer to you.
Well, yeah, but I say Erie because you're Erie.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, heading up to old Sandusky, Ohio.
Oh, man, I really can't talk about Lake Erie too much. I don't know about it.
Because you're on the complete other basin.
Okay.
There's
okay.
0% chance you could run as far as that
Yeah, okay.
from the eastern basin to the western basin of Lake Erie. That's like a 160-mile run one way. So I think you're
Okay.
probably.
Well, we don't talk about how it's
We
going
don't
to
have
be
to talk
won.
about how it's going to be won. We can talk about who's going to win it.
Who's going to win it, Pete?
Who's going to win the final event?
Oh, this is going to be a tough one, dude. This is going to be a tough
It
one.
is, because you can win it there on that part of Erie on a certain type of fish that you might not win it on another. This sucks. No, I'm going to go with somebody on the roster is going to win this event doing something that involves catching the most weight of fish over 4 days. So, yeah, man, I hate this because I want to talk about the whys and the hows and the whos. I'm going to go with old Matt Becker.
Oh, Matt Becker.
Old Matty B. He's good.
From 10 Mile, Tennessee.
Good at catching them smallies, man. And
He
they
is.
may or may not be smallmouth in Erie, and he may or may not catch some of them.
Right,
I
right.
don't really know if there's any there or anything like that. So,
okay. Matt Becker. Got a great YouTube channel. If you guys haven't followed him, this is a free plug for Matt Becker. Check his YouTube channel out. He's a great angler. Somebody that I didn't even consider this earlier when we were talking about Hartwell, man. Matt Becker and Anthony Gagliardi, who have both done phenomenal on herring fisheries. Didn't even think about them. But nevertheless, they weren't part of the pick. And so Pete went with Becker. And I'm going to go with somebody that is really, really good as a finesse fisherman. I'm not going to say it's going to be one that way, but it is Lake Erie, and a lot of people know. I can talk about it. A lot of people know that finesse is king in some of these instances, outside of the fact that there are a lot of largemouth in Lake Erie themselves. So when I go over there for the Bassmaster Opens, I may be looking at both species of fish, depending on weather considerations and stuff like that. But nevertheless, I'm going to go with Brent Ayler on this one, right out of California. Brent is he fishes very similar to how Aaron Martins did to an extent. Very particular about his line size, retying after he catches every fish. And so he hasn't had a win in a long time. He fished the FLW Tour, got a lot of accolades. He's got, 8 career wins, 60 top 10, 71 top 20. He's got 6 Red Crest appearances, but he's like a $3.5 million winner. And so I'm going to go with Brent Ayler on this one, dude. I'm going to give him some love.
yeah. Great.
So that is the 2026 Bass Pro Tour schedule. We gave our picks, our predictions, some of how we think things are going to be won, some of who we believe is going to win some. We could be completely wrong. So after next season, when it ends for both the Bass Pro Tour and the Bassmaster Elite Series, we'll revisit our episode and see how accurate we were on that stuff. And we still got one more to do for the MPFL. We haven't went over their schedule yet, right, Pete?
Nope. We still have that to do.
Yep. And I promise, we're gonna. Yep. But we're gonna take you guys for a ride. In 2026, Pete and I are still gonna fish. I'm gonna do some Bassmaster Open Division 1. We're definitely gonna fish charity tournaments. We're gonna have our Take a Warrior fishing events. We're still going to fish the Special Operations Bass Angler event in November of next year. Like, we got a lot of fishing that we're going to be doing next year, man. It's going to be fun.
You're going to fish Fishers and Men again?
That's right. We're going to fish Fishers and Men. We're going to fish charity tournaments. We're going to have our Take a Warrior fishing events. We're going to fish, potentially some, going to fish some BASS stuff and take you guys along for the ride.
Yeah.
So, Pete, what you got for the crowd before we jump off here?
Nothing. Appreciate y'all's support as always. Make sure you check out all those partners we talked about at the beginning and the links that we have posted, and follow us on social and all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. Well, hey guys, by the time you're listening to this, Thanksgiving is coming up. We this might be posted on Thanksgiving.
No, this is dropping tomorrow. We still got to do an episode.
Oh, okay. Well, Thanksgiving's coming up, nevertheless. So we hope that you guys have, you spend some great time with family and friends, and say your thanks for everything. We're gonna have one more episode that drops before Shanksgiving, so stay tuned for that. Go back and check out our previous episodes. Do us a favor and leave us reviews on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, YouTube, all those great things. It really helps the show out. And, don't forget to use those codes and those links that we always talk about, because it helps our partners that support the show. It's going to save you money. It doesn't cost them any money, but it really helps support the show. So we appreciate you guys hanging out on this wonderful day, talking about the 2026 Bass Pro Tour schedule. Without further ado, thank you for helping us continue growing a culture of anglers, helping anglers one cast at a time.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Yeah. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.